How often do you just sit down and do absolutely nothing? Wishing you all happiness, clarity, and freedom today. We're out here on this rainy day. The rain is absolutely pouring outside, but we're in the safe and protected enclosure. We're nice and cozy in here. There's literally a fireplace right over there. There's no fire in it. I kind of wish there was, but we're okay. We got the jacket on. I hope all of you are feeling wonderful today on this rainy day. It's supposed to be sad. You're supposed to be sad on rainy days, but I'm happy. Okay, it doesn't matter. So, in this video, I want to talk about a lesson that I learned a while back. Actually, when I was in university, this is a lesson that I learned about life. Okay? A major life lesson that I'm sure will benefit you so much, more than you can even imagine. This life lesson will change your life forever. This is a life-changing lesson that has been changing my life for a while now. And if the whole world knew this one lesson, the world would be such a loving, kind, compassionate place. This earth would not be like it is right now if the world knew this one lesson. And this lesson is university. University. You see why I learned this lesson at university? Let me explain. University, okay? Break up the word university. You never sit. Why? You never sit. Why? When I was in college, I was staring out my window at the building across from me that said university on it. And I just kept staring at the word university. Just kept repeating it in my mind, university, university. And then I realized something. You never sit. Why? You break up the word and that's what you get. And I realized that this world never sits. We are always trying to go and do something in every single moment. We're never taking breaks. We're always going. We're always doing. We're always trying to be somebody. We're always trying to get something outside of us. And you never sit. We never sit. Why? It's like the universe is asking you, you never sit. Why? Why don't you ever just sit down with yourself and do absolutely nothing? This is the lesson that I learned back in university. You never sit. Why? You never sit. Why? We need to start sitting down more and being with ourselves rather than doing, right? We're human beings. We're not human doings. We all know this. We need to start being. We need to start sitting down, sitting with our thoughts, sitting with our emotions. And this is an incredibly difficult thing to do when you're not used to it. Okay, I've been doing this for a while. Throughout the day, I take some time to just sit down and do nothing. Literally, sit down and stare out the window and think about life. And this is how you actually take control over your life. This is how you learn to let go. You realize that nothing really matters as much as you think it does. Nothing really matters as much as you think it does. When you sit down and do nothing and stare out the window, or when you sit down on a bench in nature, or even when you just go for a walk in nature, you observe nature. You are still. You're not actively trying to get anything. You're not actively trying to do anything. You are just being with yourself. And something really magical happens. Say hi to the airplane. Say hi to the airplane. What something really magical happens when you learn how to sit with yourself, sit with your emotions, sit with your thoughts, whatever they may be. You might have a million thoughts running through your head. You might have so many things that you want to focus on that you feel like you have to do, otherwise your life will fall apart. But in trying to do so many things, that is how your life actually falls apart. We are doing too much. Do too much. We do too much, literally. We need to start doing less. Okay? Less is more. This is a very valuable lesson as well. Less is more. Ties into the university lesson. And it's kind of like a lesson that I made up on my own, right? You never sit. Why? It's kind of unique. It's kind of awesome. I just kind of was staring at the word university, and that's what I thought of. Because in that moment, I was actually just sitting down doing nothing. And I did a lot of that back in college when I had free time. You know, I could have been on Snapchat, I could have been on Instagram, I could have been out partying, but I just chose to sit with my thoughts, sit with my emotions, and do nothing. But in doing nothing, I was doing everything. I was healing myself. And another thing that happens to you when you sit down and you do nothing is that you begin to heal yourself emotionally, spiritually, mentally. You begin, even physically, it's all the same. All the physically, the mentally, the spiritually, the emotionally, it's all tied in together, and they're all connected. They're just different subsections of the same thing. So you begin to heal when you sit down and do nothing. And I notice that whenever I just sit down with my emotions, sit down with my thoughts, they're running through my brain like a crazy train, but I just let it be. I just let it be, and I actually start to observe my thoughts instead of attaching to them. And when you're distracted, when you're always out trying to get something, always out trying to do something, always focused on a task outside of you, focused on a stimulation outside of you, right? Whenever you're not present, you can develop unconscious blockages in your body. When you're not conscious of your body, you develop these unconscious blockages. And then you wonder why you're sad, you're depressed, you're feeling this way. It's because you're doing too much. You're doing too much. So, about the healing, you really start to heal when you sit down and just be with yourself. You start to heal your mind. You start to heal your body. You start to become who you really are supposed to be. Right? You start to become who you are really supposed to be. You remember who you are. When you sit down and be with yourself, you understand that nothing matters as much as you think it does. Nothing that you thought mattered so much, right? Your job, your friends, all the things, all the external things that are outside of you that a lot of times we think matters so much. We attach to these things so much. When you sit down with yourself and be still, feel your body, be present with your body, be present with your emotions, be present with your thoughts, be with them. Be with them, okay? Do not escape the present moment, because that's when fear comes in. But when you just be with yourself in this moment, you're in tune with yourself. You are tuned in. Another airplane, say hi. But you are tuned in. When you're tuned in, when you're tapped into your energy, you will not have anything to worry about, right? You will free your mind, and this is how we heal. This is how we take our power back. This is how we remember who we are. This is how we heal. This is how we advance on our spiritual journey. This is how we become absolutely amazing. And one thing I noticed about myself, just observing over the past year or so, ever since I really started to meditate, I noticed that I am different than the people around me. I am a lot more still than the people around me. Even when I'm just sitting down around people, I see their legs going up and down. When I was in school, I would see everyone's legs bouncing up and down. I would see their hands tapping. And it's not surprising, it's not their fault. It's just the system that we're in makes us believe that we always have to be doing something, that we have so much to do, and this creates anxiety. So it's not a surprise that we're tapping our legs uncontrollably, that we're tapping our hands uncontrollably. It's not a surprise to me. But ever since I started to meditate, I started to become more in tune with my own energy. And when you become in tune with your own energy, you see anxiety before it can control you. Because, like I said, when you're distracted, you can't see the anxiety. It creeps up. It creeps up on you, and you can't see it. But when you start to when you start to direct your focus within instead of without, you start to go within your own universe that exists within you, right? You start to go within. You really gain your power back. You gain control over your mind. You gain control over your body, your thoughts, all these things. And a lot of people say this, but you must let go of what doesn't serve you so you can make space for what serves you. When you let go of things in your external reality, when you start to sit down and be with yourself, you never sit. Why? Why don't you ever sit? When you start to do this, you can create the space, the much needed space, the peace of mind, the mental clarity, the mindfulness. You create this in yourself, and it allows you to discover who you really are, to discover what it is that you are actually passionate about, right? Let's talk about that. A lot of us are looking for passions. A lot of us are looking for that thing that we love to do, that thing that can make us money and that we love to do, right? But a lot of us get too caught up in the money part of it. We do things just for money a lot of times, and we ignore the inner passion, the inner child within us that doesn't truly resonate with it, right? A lot of us have jobs that we don't like, but we're still there because we need the money, we need the security. But when you follow your heart, when you create the space by letting go of these things that you think you need, when you create this space, you can actually attract what is really meant for you. You can attract your true passions. And when you do this, then the money can come. Then the money comes in, and you don't even have to worry about it. But the hardest part is letting go of what doesn't serve you. And this is not easy in this world because we think that these things are serving us. We think that our jobs are truly serving us, but in reality, they're just giving us money, that's it. And they're sucking the life out of us, a lot of us. And it sucks that it has to be this way, but what I've been doing is doing my best to just let go of all these things. Understand that the money will come, the money will be there. I don't have to worry about it. And when I let go and create the space for what serves me, then I can allow it in. But only when I create this space for these things to come to me. Because if I'm always distracted, if I'm always tuned in to these things outside of me, nothing that is truly resonant with me has the space to come in, because I'm always focused on something else. I'm always tuned out, right? And a lot of you might be like this, and I encourage you to do your best to just sit down, let it go, and just be with yourself, be with your emotions. And this is how you create that much needed space within you that will allow you to become who you really are. So that's another thing. When you sit down and be with yourself, you create the space for what is really meant for you. You create the space for what is truly resonant with you. Okay? And also, when you sit down and when you be with yourself, when you let go of all these things, this peace of mind that you gain is priceless. Peace of mind is the greatest form of wealth. Okay? If you are good within, everything else will be good. If you have peace of mind, mindfulness, mental clarity, this peace within you, this inner peace, this is really what humans want. This is really what we're after. It's just that we're distracted. It's just that there's so many distractions, and I'm really starting to see this, that we really just want peace of mind. We really just want to be happy. We really just want to feel good within. But all of these things outside of us are blocking that from happening, right? Even the social media, even the technology. We go to work because we have to, for money, and then we come home, and a lot of us distract ourselves with the technology, the Netflix, social media, and then we still don't have the space within us to allow what is really meant for us. So we're still left unfulfilled, we're still left unhappy, and we don't have inner peace. We have all these thoughts racing through our heads, and we don't feel peaceful within, right? So when you just sit with yourself, when you just be, you gain this inner peace. And this is something I'm still working on, okay? Don't think that I have it all figured out yet. I don't, but I'm still working on this. I'm still trying my best to, throughout the day, get out in nature more. Nature is so great for this, because when you're out in nature, you realize that everything in nature is just in a state of being. Everything in nature is in a state of being. They're not always trying to go out and do things. They're not always trying to do this, do that, according to a society that is just an illusion, because all that exists is the present moment. They're not always trying to do something. A lot of times you see out in nature, they're just being. The animals, the trees are just there, right? They're just being. And we didn't come here to always be doing something, to always be going, trying to go and change things, trying to go and do things. We came here to be. We came here to experience the beauty of life. And you can only do that when you sit down, be with yourself, let go of everything that's around you. And this is also how you raise your vibration. This is how you attract love into your life. This is how you shift into the 5D, as we call it, the fifth dimension, but I mean, it's whatever you call it, it doesn't really matter. This is how we shift into a higher state of being. This is how we raise our mood. This is how we feel better. This is how everything starts to work out for us. We begin to be instead of do. And you could find a balance between being and doing. It's just that a lot of us are doing too much. We need to start being more. And this is the life lesson that I learned that can truly change the world. If more people knew about this, the world would be such a better place. The world would not look like it is now, right? People would be more happy. People would feel better within. Things would change more. And I really feel that the world is headed this way. We are headed towards a new era, a new age, the age of Aquarius. And this is also why you saw the work week change to 4 days a week sometimes, because we are realizing we've been doing too much. We are realizing we need to start being more, stop doing, and then everything will work out for us. Everything will be better. Life will become more harmonious, and we can start to love more, okay? We start to love more. So thank you all so much for watching this video. Thank you for tuning in. I truly appreciate every single one of you. You are all talented, spectacular, powerful, amazing. And don't forget to like the video, comment down below what you think, subscribe, and hit the bell. Make it a great day or not, the choice is yours.